If you're anything like me and you use your vehicle on a regular basis with the occasional cross-country voyage, it's a good idea to treat your vehicle with a bit of TLC, tender love and care. This becomes especially important after more intense wear on your vehicle, such as driving up in the mountains where there's lots of snow. If you drive an older vehicle, like myself with this 1991 Toyota pickup, not to be confused with a Tacoma or a Tundra, you can use what is called a grease gun to actually inject grease into the propeller shaft on the underside. So today, I'll be greasing the propeller shaft on the underside of my pickup truck using a grease gun. Hope you'll stick around. I recently got this handy attachment for my chest that I can mount my phone and be able to video straight from my chest while I do projects like this. Let me know what you think of this perspective. I first got the idea to lubricate the propeller shaft on the underside of my 91 Toyota pickup truck, not to be confused with the Tundra or the Tacoma. This is pre those models. But I got the idea from a little printout sheet that was on the sun visor inside the truck that had the recommended miles to lubricate the shaft with a grease gun. You can see that slip right up here to the right. I'm in no way a professional mechanic, more of a DIY type mechanic. I just like cars, and learning about cars is kind of like a hobby for me. I use the Chilton book for the Toyota truck, and if you've seen my other VW video on my van and changing the oil in my van, I use the Bentley manual for that, and then I use the internet and videos and just try to figure things out as best as I can. Most of us are aware of the importance of an oil change. If you're not, hopefully you don't own a car. But grease, which is just a thicker version of oil, is important for other components of a vehicle, such as the propeller shaft. The propeller shaft is a combination of different bars that run the length of your vehicle, and they come from the engine and they spin, and then they hook up to the axle through various mechanisms, and they spin the axle, which in turn spins the wheel. And the different components of this propeller shaft often need lubrication in the form of grease, and they used to design them where you could pump in grease using a grease gun like this, where you actually pump up compression inside of the gun, and then it has a little fitting that you can attach to, I think, what they called spiders, but newer vehicles have something similar, I'm assuming, not exactly sure, but the lubrication is important because it's a section that's moving often, and it has usually rubber components. You don't want these various components to dry out and or get rusty and start to corrode, so keeping these parts well greased will help increase the longevity of those parts and in the end save you money. So since my 91 Toyota pickup truck has over 200,000 miles, and since I recently drove it around in Montana on snowy roads, I figured it would be a good idea to pump some grease into those various spiders, or otherwise known as little, I guess kind of like nipples that you pop on the fitting on the grease gun, and you pump grease into the parts. So to start, I put my truck up on my ramps and then made sure to put the two different safety jacks, whatever you call those, and then I hopped under the vehicle. I picked up my grease gun at O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Thought about ordering one, but I just wanted to have one quicker than waiting for shipping, so I just went to the local store. I'm pretty sure you can also get different fittings. If I remember correctly, when I was doing some research, there's a universal fitting that will fit most of the areas on the underside of a vehicle. The previous owner had been giving this truck as much TLC as it needed. If you attach the fitting to the little spider, otherwise known as a nipple, correctly, and have enough compression inside of your grease gun, when you start to pump the grease gun, you can actually hear the grease squeezing into the parts of the shaft, and that sound is satisfying. My reasoning for buying this attachment for my phone to attach the phone to my chest was because I really wanted to get a GoPro to be able to film my videos with a GoPro, but I'm not ready to spend the money. So instead, I found this chest strap mount thing. It works pretty well, and it was only about $25 on Amazon, or something like that. I'll put a link in the description below. Did you hear that sound? So satisfying. Alright, so hopefully you learned just a little bit about the underside of your vehicle, specifically the shaft that you can oil or lubricate with a grease gun. I am also going to highly recommend this dry, fast orange hand wash. It's like a lotion that kind of scrubs stuff off of your hands. If you're working with cars and your hands are getting oily, this stuff is awesome. Alright folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, questions below. Build something cool. Or work on a cool car. Something like that. See ya.